Do you feel like roommates instead of lovers? Like you're doing all the right things, but something feels off. You want more affection, more pursuit, more warmth. But what if the very thing you're craving is directly connected to something he's craving from you? We're talking about the oxygen of marriage, love and respect. Welcome back to my series, A Heart Called Home, and this is A Heart Called Home to Your Marriage, the second section. Today, we're talking about something that can completely transform your marriage, and I don't say that lightly because it transformed mine. If you feel like your husband is not as loving as he used to be, that you feel like the affection has cooled, if you feel more like roommates than lovers, I want to offer you something that honestly, it might be kind of hard to hear. He may feel deeply disrespected. And most women have no idea that they're doing it. I was one of them. Today is a marriage masterclass on love and respect, the oxygen of a relationship. Now, before I go any further, I want to say this. This conversation applies to healthy marriages with fundamentally good men. Actually, I wouldn't even say it's healthy marriages. I would just say any marriage, because what is a healthy marriage? And if you have a healthy marriage, why are you listening? But it is about being married to a fundamentally good guy. And this is not advice for abusive, destructive, or chronically irresponsible situations. Now, I do want to have a caveat when I say abusive and destructive, because girls, there is a whole lot that we have done, are doing, that we're totally unaware of, that I believe contributes to what many label today as abusive behavior. Now, I'm saying this very gently, but also very firmly as well, that what you may think is abusive behavior, say, it could even be name calling, verbal abuse, emotional abuse, things like that. When these principles that we're talking about in this series become when we digest it and we implement it into our lives and our relationships, when we start doing the internal work on ourselves, it is phenomenal how that can change what we see as abusive behavior, how that can change. Because what happens, sorry that I know I'm pausing our whole topic today to talk about abusive relationships and behavior, but I think it's fundamental because often you might be convinced you're married to a bad guy when really you're you're married to a good guy who is reacting. And we have to realize what they are reacting to. And, it goes to old belief systems that he holds, old behaviors, old programming that he has, but it also is, I mean, we choose each other for a reason, right? He may have chosen you because you bring out that same dynamic that he is seeking to resolve from his childhood, his relationship with his mom or with women where he had gotten hurt or damaged. And now this is kind of his default. Hey, but he was so sweet and kind at the beginning. He was wonderful. And now this, why this behavior? I didn't do anything to deserve this, whatnot. So again, you are the only judge here for what is okay or acceptable for you. And I am not saying every woman needs to stay in an abusive marriage and it's her fault. It's her fault and she has to turn it around. What I am saying, though, is that so many times the behavior that we would label as abusive is a reaction to what we are putting out there. So bear with, if you're interested, hear me out. Stay with me through this series, A Heart Called Home to Your Marriage, because you may see that if you choose to experiment with these principles, that you very likely will turn his behavior around, just as I saw my marriage get completely turned around when I understood these, learned these, and implemented them. Okay, so I want to say that I do believe that most men are fundamentally good guys. Yes, they might have behavior that you'd say like, well, that's not good guy behavior. Can you even define what a good guy is? Because oftentimes, gosh, I didn't mean to go this direction today, but we're got to talk about what is a good guy. When we think of a good guy, oftentimes we think of an effeminate male. We think of a man who has female qualities because that's comfortable to us. That makes sense in our brains when people act like Mr. Rogers or they act like we watch PBS Kids at our house and basically Daniel Tiger's Neighborhood. There is not a male in that whole show. They are not men, they are all women. And that is the way we raise our boys to be soft and gentle and tender and sensitive and kind. And then and all these things and then we pad them throughout their lives and we don't allow them to take risks or to fight or be manly or not that masculinity is fighting, but energy. They have energy, and we trap them in schoolrooms and we take away their autonomy and we take away free thinking. Like, oh my gosh, we are raising these beta males. That's just what we're doing. And we cannot blame men for wanting to survive and being put through all of this. So, what is a good guy? Well, that's debatable. But I want to say a good guy, in my opinion, and from the work that I have done and what I have seen in the world, most men have a heart to please their women. They want to give good things to their women. They do. They're driven. That's their drive to do that. I think that's fundamental good guy quality right there. And we have the power to instill that drive, to encourage that drive, to supercharge his drive to give us what we want. And this is not a mercenary thing, but I mean, we do get together as a man and a woman for reasons, not just because love is the answer to everything and it's the best thing in the world, but because he has something you want and you have something he wants. It is transactionary. And but with the highest good. We desire to be connected with each other. But that dynamic only works, that desire, that's attraction, that's magnetism, that only stays when we continue to provide the thing that we were seeking. So that's why it feels like the relationship is dead. You're not getting what you need, but he's not getting what he needs either. And it's hard because in this modern world, we are told that if we show up and we're, hey, I did 50% of the housework. I get the groceries, or maybe you do more. Maybe you do 90% of the stuff at home and he does 10%, and you're both working and the kids are in school and you try to divide the driving, but you end up having to do most of it yourself because it's how you're programmed and whatever. Did you also know, let's take one more tangent here, that men are far better at self-care than women because men can compartmentalize. Compartmentalize. Anyway, I'm putting in lots of consonants. Where we women, we always have our receptors and our sensors out and we're programmed to take care of people and things and we always like, oh, did I leave something? We're in bed making love and thinking about, did I leave something on in the stove? Did I pick up the dry cleaning? Make a note. It's like, stop it, stop it, stop it, stop it. No, be present. Guys are really good at investing in the thing that they're doing, where we're just sensors everywhere. That's what makes it so good at our job as nurturers, and what makes men so good at their jobs as like attack, let me accomplish this thing. I can be fully focused without distraction. That is a superpower. All right. So, let's get back to where we were. We're talking about fundamentally good guys and what is a good guy. And I guess let's just go ahead and move on and talk about love and respect. Yeah. But I firmly believe that once we understand the principles of how to give each other what we want, I'm talking about transactionary relationships and how when we stop getting what we want, then we stop desiring. That only makes sense, right? It does. That's logic. Okay, so let's move forward. What is our core principle? We women, we need love like oxygen. Oh my gosh. I, as a woman, I want to feel cherished, adored, chosen, protected, delighted in. I want to be the most beautiful woman in my man's eyes. And I want to feel special. That is what I want. No guy is going to tell you that that's what he wants because that is not how men are wired. Men need respect like oxygen. They need to feel trusted, believed in, competent, capable, relied upon. And so for a woman, the most painful message that she can have is, you are unlovable. But for a man, the most painful message for him is, you are incompetent. How does that feel? How does that feel in your body as you hear that? As a woman, you are unlovable. As a man, you are incompetent. That may feel strange. Trying to understand, wrap your mind around the man's message because it's different wiring. Men are not hairy women misbehaving. No, they are totally different. They are wired totally different. Once we can understand that, then I think that's when we can move forward and we can improve. We are set free, and because they are set free, they don't have to be held to the same language as women. And it's not to say that they aren't held to anything, but it's just you got to understand. A dog is a dog, a cat is a cat, a man is a man, and a woman is a woman. Okay? We are different and we are fabulous. Okay. So here's the key thing. If these two sentences are all that you walk away from understanding today, it was well worth listening. When he feels disrespected, he withdraws love. When she feels unloved, she withdraws respect. Now both are suffocating. Now you have the modern marriage. I laugh and because I know it's true, and it's so dang painful. It is so painful. So what do you do from there? What do you do? Okay. Well, let's talk a little bit about what disrespect actually looks like. Most women think disrespect means yelling or yelling. But that's not true. Disrespect is actually it's really subtle. It's really subtle. And oftentimes we just have to look at the root of the things that we're saying and our behaviors. We have to look at the root to understand why we are doing what we're doing. Okay, here are these subtle examples. Correcting him in front of others. Answering for him. Someone asks him a question and you jump in and you answer. Oh, well, he just finished this project and whatever. Like, no, that's disrespectful. Apologizing on his behalf. That's a hard one because, again, we women, we're very sensitive. And when we feel like our man has crossed a line or done something rude, we want to make up for it. Oh, I'm so sorry. I know it's been a hard day. He's just kind of grump. That is incredibly disrespectful. That's saying, my man, he doesn't know how to manage his emotions. He's just volatile and he's rude. I married an asshole. Oh, that's what you're saying. Instead, you let him own it. Like, yeah, that was his choice. That's how he decided to act. Isn't that interesting? Okay, let him own it. You do not have to fix everything. And and again, let him speak for himself. Okay, another way of doing it is second guessing his decisions. Are you sure you want to take a right here? Or did you want to, maybe you want to go, you know, did you forget to pack this thing? Second guessing his decision. Are you sure quitting your job is a great idea and taking this new one? Are you sure? Whew. Double checking his work, where you just, maybe he packed to go on a camping trip and you go through everything just to make sure that he didn't forget everything. You tend to space out about this thing. Whatever it is, double checking his work. Just being helpful. I was really, really good at this one. And I had no idea how disrespectful I was being by just being helpful. I'm just trying to help. So yeah, that learning that one, it hit me like a ton of bricks. So here's the thing. I was raised to be helpful. Is there anything I can do to help? In my household, there were 10 kids. And the thing that my mom would always say is to instruct us that had to come out of our mouths was, what can I do to help you, Mom? What can I do to help? So if you weren't saying those things, you were in trouble. So that was very praised in my home. So I became my husband's little helper. You know, hey, maybe take a right here. It's shorter. Or did you check that before you did this? Or you know, that food it's a lot better if you warm it up. Maybe you might want to warm it up. Uh, I still catch myself with that one because I want him to have the most delicious meal, but he just wants to have the fastest meal. And that still is a point of contingency with like I have to hold back and go, stop, because I know that was a generational thing for him, where his grandmother and his mother, they would always be they could not stand someone eating their food cold. Like, no, no, thou must not eat cold food. You have to heat it up. And it was their job to be the food warmer. And they just, yeah. And if he didn't let them do their warm up the food, then it was like they were slowly dying inside. So I need to free him up to eat all the cold food he wants. But he knows that if he would like me to warm it up, he may ask, and I will do. But then asking him things like, "Are you sure that's the best way to do things? Did you measure first? Did you?" Okay. And when I said those things, in my mind, I was being supportive. I was attentive. I was thinking ahead. I was trying to be a good planner. But actually, what I was communicating to him was, I don't trust you to handle this. And I didn't realize that until I read The Empowered Wife by Laura Doyle, and it stopped me cold. It did. Oh my gosh. So we went on a road trip uh, 2 falls ago, and I was reading The Empowered Wife. And when I got to that point where I realized that all of my helping, my big-hearted, just trying to be the best wife I could be and be helpful, that was subtly disrespecting him. Probably not even subtly. It was disrespecting him, and he knew it, but I had no clue. And why is it that every time I try to be helpful, he gets all irritated and rude? I'm like, well, excuse me for helping. Well, yeah, keep it to yourself, girl. So anyway, so we're on this road trip, and I told him all about, like, oh my gosh, honey, I am so sorry. I just realized that all these times where I was trying to be helpful, it was actually undermining you, and it was being disrespectful, and I had no idea. I just want to apologize. Within 2 days after we had gotten home, we had gotten inspired to declutter the house. And so I had all these boxes of stuff to go to the thrift store to donate. And here I was holding our baby and breastfeeding and he was about to run an errand and he said, "Hey, do you would you like me to take these 6 boxes to go to donation?" And I said, "Oh my gosh, that would be so nice." They were taking up so much space in our house. And so he he started to load them up. And then all of a sudden, my little helper brain came up and went, "I don't know if he's going to lay all of the seats flat so that he can fit all the." Well, as I recount this, I think of what an idiot. What an idiot I thought he was, apparently, that he couldn't figure that out. But I thought, oh gosh, maybe he didn't think about taking out a car seat so he can lay down the rest of the seats. And why did it bother me so much? Because maybe 2 boxes wouldn't fit and they'd just be sitting here when really all of let's make it complete. Let's make sure all the boxes come. Anyway, it was such an idiotic thing of me to think, but still it was like on my brain was on fire and I needed to go tell him. I needed to check. I just needed to check to make sure that he got the car seat out so we could lower it and just make sure that my idea. See, this actually goes back to control. Okay? It's control. My idea is the best idea. So so I'm holding our baby on my hip and I go out there and just to check. And I know like I'm standing on the sidewalk staring at him as he's starting to load the car. I'm like, "Oh, I should say so. I shouldn't say. I should gosh." And I said it so hesitantly and like in a tiptoe fashion. "Hey, did you think about maybe putting the seat down?" He looked at me cold. He just turned his head, locked eyes, and said, "Do you want me to do this?" I was like, "I'm so sorry. He said, "You're helping." "I'm so sorry. I'll go back inside." He had it figured out. I did not marry an idiot. Thank the Lord. And even if he had not thought about it, you know what? It would have been okay. It would have been okay if 2 boxes hadn't made it in. And if I had not taken my big mouth out there and been such a great helper and thought like, "I'm sorry, I know you don't know what I know." Clearly, I must oversee your work here. You know how disrespectful that is? That brings me to my favorite illustration about respect and control. I really enjoy the process of cooking. I enjoy my dinner preparation time. It's peaceful for me. And I usually listen to a podcast while I do it. And so if I'm here, I am in my kitchen enjoying my peace and quiet as I create something delicious for my family. If my husband came in and looked over my shoulder and said, "Are you, is that all you're going to do to the soup?" "Oh, okay." And "Well, what?" "Well, don't want it to be like last time. Blah, Hey, make sure you don't burn it, okay? Yeah, you don't want that to happen." Like, when was the last time I burned food? 2 years ago. Do you remember that? 2 years ago when you burned the food? Oh, that was awful. That was so disgusting. Yeah, don't do that again. Huh. Like, who are you? Get out of my kitchen. Get out. You're like, "No, I wouldn't tolerate that." I would say it would be so rude. And yet, my friends, and yet we do that to our guys all the time. Anytime we ask them, like, "Hey, did you remember to pick this thing up? Did you go?" And it's not like, "Hey, we are humans, girls, guys, we all forget stuff, you know." But respect is a big thing. And we have an example. You know what? There are plenty of times where I have done idiotic things. And you know what my husband hasn't done? He hasn't rubbed my nose in it. It happens. That's it. And end of story. And yet, so often I think we as women don't forget. We're like elephants when it comes to things that our guys did. And you're like, well, and then we never let them live it down. And it's because we're trying to protect ourselves. It's a safety thing. We seek to control so that we can be safe. We have to be able to trust our men, and we have to let them earn that trust and allow them to earn the trust so that then we can respect them. So trust is a whole other can of worms. All of these things are integral, so it's very hard to talk about just one thing without it opening up into the other things. But we're going to try to stick to love and respect today. But just understanding what that respect looks like and what disrespect looks like is vital for our understanding of our men. Girls, we have spent multiple generations teaching men how to think like women, and it hasn't done a lot of good. You know what they've done? They've just retreated. They're like, screw that. I can't be a woman. I can't be a woman. And I can't win. If I act like a woman, I can kind of win a little bit, but then I feel really stifled and frustrated and angry. So I think I'll just play video games and not have relationships. I mean, that's an epidemic, friends. It is. Here's the rule. If he owns something, if he owns a responsibility, a job, a duty, whatever it is, he decides how it's done. If you want to control how it's done, then you own it. I want to make the soup. I own the soup. I don't want him to make the soup. If he's going to critique me, he can make the soup. All right? If it bothers you that it's not done yet, you have two choices. Like the lawn. The lawn's a great example. If your guy is in charge of lawn work and lawn maintenance, then he gets to own it. So, say you really want the lawn cut for whatever reasons. You have two things. You can either let it go and let just like, whew. You can actually, there's three things. There's three options. You can let it go and say, you know what? I would rather have marital peace than to have him know that I need him to cut the grass today before 4 o'clock, or he's going to be in hot water. That's not good. Secondly, you can take ownership of it and you can do it yourself. But I'll let you know that you go out there and you mow the lawn, you've now just got a new position. You are lawn maintenance gal. And you will be doing that henceforth because you are owning it. If it bothers you so much, you do it. Have you ever heard your guy say that? Mm-hmm. Thirdly, this is what I would recommend, is you may state the desire of your heart. You may say, I would so love a freshly mowed lawn. That means so much to me. If you have any spare time this weekend, give a time frame. Well, even then, that can also get dangerous. I would adore. So you're stating a preference, though, and you are letting him know what you want. I would love the lawn mowed this weekend. Ta-da, that's it. Guess what? Now he knows. Now he knows he's not a mind reader. He doesn't know how bad the lawn with that's a little long bothers you. But there's a difference in how you say it. When you state it as a desire of your heart and you say, I would love to have the lawn mowed this weekend. Versus, are you ever going to mow the lawn? It looks so terrible. It's driving me crazy. Blah, blah, blah. Oh my. Oh my. You know, when someone talks to me like that, I want to retreat. And guys are no different. So I suggest number 3. What you, what we can't do as women is assign responsibility and then micromanage execution. We, as mothers, that is a very difficult thing for us to not to do because we are training our children, we are teaching them, we are coaching, but your spouse is not your child. He doesn't need your coaching or your training. He's a grown man and he's made it this far He made it all the way up to meeting you without any of your assistance. And he is fully capable of continuing to do so as well. And the thing is that when you offer him respect, he's going to be motivated to offer you love. And that's what we're getting to. Respect means control. Pardon me. Flip that. Respect means releasing control. It does not have to be done the way that it appears in your brain for it to be acceptable. That's a big thing. We can let it go, let it go. So gratitude turns his green light on. Men are like a light switch. They are either on or they are off. I know, in many areas. But when it comes to our relation, if you want a deeply vibrant, romantic relationship for life throughout your life with this man, we got to know that he's got a light switch. And when when he's in the green, he's on, it's great. And he is ready to assist you. He is ready to give, he wants to make you happy. He wants to give you good things and make you joyful. But when you have helped or, turn his light off and he is red, and there's so many ways that we do that, oh my gosh, he's going to be a pain in the butt. And it's not going to be fun. And you are not going to be loved and cherished and adored the way that you deserve to be and desire to be. So, but gratitude is one of the ways that you turn his green light on. When he mows the lawn, don't critique the missed patch of grass or that he didn't finish trimming or whatever it is. You say, oh my gosh, it smells so amazing out here. Thank you. Thank you. It looks incredible. And be genuine. What you don't want to do is what is so common for us as women to do. Please try to untrain this from yourself. don't say, I'm sorry, I'm just remembering something that was very common in the beginning of our marriage. Okay, but don't say a compliment and then tack on a critique. Oh my gosh, I love the lawn. Oh, would you just will you make sure you get around the trees next time? You've negated everything. All he heard was you suck at mowing and trimming and you can't do your job right. Yeah. Ugh. Ugh. When that wasn't it. Like you could be 99% delighted, but you brought up the 1% and that just crashed it all. We just do. Those big strong men have very tender hearts and they want to be proud of the job that they did and they want to be appreciated for what they've done. Right? Right. We all feel that way. Okay. If he fixes something, if he provides something, if he handles something, when you shower him with genuine appreciation, green light, that fuels him. Criticism flips the light red. Appreciation turns it green. Simple, easy. Got it. When his light is green, what's he going to do? He's going to pursue you. He's going to initiate things. He's going to soften. He's going to love you. It's very beautiful. Now, I do want to recognize that if you have been married for years or in a relationship for years, there's probably relationship residue. There's buildup. There is hurt, resentment, scorekeeping. And we do this to protect ourselves. We do this because if we keep these records, then we know it's like every time you touch the stove, you get burned. We feel that way in our relationship. So I need to just keep remembering that's hot. I can't touch that. Sorry, went right to the song. So this showing respect when you feel so hurt over the course of many years or situations, it is hard for us to turn that around. But I want to tell you something from my heart so deeply that it is us who turns it around. There is rarely a man who turns a marriage around. It is us as women that turn our marriages around because we are the relationship experts. We are wired for relationship, and it is our responsibility to guide our relationships. And when we change, when we transform, and when we change our behaviors, that is when it it's like we lead our guys to God. It is beautiful. And from my experience and from the women that I've worked with and the stories that I have heard, men are a lot more forgiving than we think. They can turn things around pretty fast and go from, I mean, in my relationship, before I knew these principles, oh my goodness, my amazing husband didn't even want to go on a date with me. He said, "What are we going to talk about? There's nothing to talk about. I don't want to go. What a waste of time." Ouch, that killed me. And I could not for the life of me figure it out why. Well, it's because I was disrespecting him. I did not respect him. And I thought if I just act loving, that's enough. I was acting loving. If he was a girl, we would have been just fine. But he's not. He's not a girl. It's like the dog is not a cat. And in so many ways, when I realized how, in so many ways, I had been disrespectful and how I had completely just assumed that he needed to act the way all women act. And that, again, he was a big, hairy woman misbehaving. And gosh, it was all his fault. Oh my goodness. Once I realized how untrue that was and about how my behavior was actually causing the majority of his behavior, well, then I can turn that around. If I know how, I can. And I did. And it took a couple weeks for him to believe the things that were coming out of my mouth, the appreciation, the gratitude, the respect. But once he saw that I was consistent and that I had lightened up and I wanted to be joyful and light and fun and sweet and not always complaining and, oh, the world is just, ah. When I turned back into that woman that he fell in love with, it got fun real fast. Okay? So I just want to tell you how miraculous it is once we start giving our men respect. So here's the thing. It may not feel natural overnight, but girls, I want you to fake it until you make it. Honestly, if we can do our best to be respectful, even when our trend is that we haven't. And like, well, all my learned behavior before is I'm going to complain about him. I'm going to talk to my girlfriends behind his back about what a jerk he is, all that stuff. And then, well, why isn't he being nice to me? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Oh my gosh. Because we are not. I wasn't being respectful. We, yeah, let's keep moving. You're smart. You picked it up. Got it. But yeah, we want to have that romance turned on. We want to feel loved and cherished and desired and chosen. And they want to feel manly. They want to feel like we trust them, that they are capable of giving us the things that we need and want. Oh, it's beautiful. I'm going to say something that may challenge you further today. Let today be a day of challenges. But in my belief, I believe that if you want to be a phenomenal mother, you must also be a devoted wife. Marriage is number one. In a strong family, marriage is number one, and children are number two. Now, that does not mean neglecting your children. It means protecting the relationship that stabilizes the life that they live inside. This is huge. This is so huge. And this is an area that is pretty absent from most families. And it's not because you're bad or I'm bad or whatnot. It's because we just weren't taught this. But when our marriages are strong, when my marriage is strong, everything in the house flourishes because guess what? I flourish. It's selfish. It's so selfish, right? But it is so foundational. Foundational, girls. When life is strained, when my marriage is strained, everyone feels it. Our children thrive in the security of our marriage connection. They do. And right now, I feel the weight of so many strained marriages. It, where, again, we women, we feel like we're doing everything. And it feels like the men get a free ticket to go chill out or relax or do whatever they want. And yeah, they have a job and they're providing, but so do you, right? And or how does that work? Or why is it that I'm always doing everything? It feels very imbalanced. We want to get rid of that imbalance. That imbalance makes a very dissatisfied, unhappy, drained life, right? And I don't know about you, but I was tired of that. I was tired of always feeling that way. And it wasn't modeled, and nothing else was modeled for us. It was career, and you have someone you're married to, and then they just kind of do whatever they're supposed to do, which is go to work, come home, and do what I tell you. And from that, this is why this is such a huge conversation. But when a man lives in a relationship like that, there's no freedom. And a man needs freedom. Freedom doesn't mean that he's out every night and he's seeing other women and, well, I wanted my freedom, so I got my freedom. No, I don't know why he turned into that character. But anyway, that's not what freedom means. Freedom means that he has the responsibility and the options to choose in his life. And I think where the breakdown happens is we're kind of the boss of everything, ladies. And, feminism brought some really great things, but it also brought, I think, utter destruction to the family system. Well, that's not anything to laugh at, but it's just crazy. It's crazy. But men, like the kind of men that we really, really crave and want, those strong, those big, strong men that we can just sink into. And it feels like, think of a fire. Why are firemen so hot, right? Because they're going to go do the hard thing that we don't have, we're kind of powerless to do. And you may think like, well, all women could be firemen. Like, okay, how many women really want to be firemen? Not many. How many women want to be lumberjacks, electricians, doing like sewage workers, all of the hard working at oil rigs, underwater welders? Does that sound fabulous? That's the kind of life you want to live, girls? No. But guess who does that? Men. And those men who do those hard jobs, we kind of melt over that. Like he can do, when if I have a flat tire, I'm not going to be flagging over a woman to help me change my flat tire. Yeah, we could probably figure it out, but I'm going to feel so much better if I can flag down a man, even an old man, because chances are he's got some experience and he has probably more strength than I do. So there's just a different dynamic. And we are seeking those strong men, but those strong men will not tolerate disrespect. They won't. And chances are you married a strong man who has swallowed the lie that he's supposed to act kind of like a little boy and just do whatever the women tell him to do. And I mean, this is not all guys, but this is kind of the majority from what I see in the world. And I tell you what, what about you? What if we turn this around? Have you ever been told that you don't need that much love? You don't need that. Chances are that probably came from a man because he wasn't being sensitive to you and what women need. But Think about it. We have told men all these messages of what they don't need. You don't need to be manly. You don't need to do the things men do. That's yucky. That's a waste of time. That's dumb. We have spent decades doing that to men. Think, oh, you men and your sports or whatever it is. And then what about for if we lived and perhaps we did live before the feminine revolution and where in a culture where men were constantly demeaning women, saying, "Oh, stop crying. Stop having feelings. Stop all that stuff. Stiffen up. Just go do the thing." You know? That feels suffocating too, doesn't it? That feels absolutely awful and kind of enraging. Guess what? It's the same, I was going to say same shoe, different foot. Pretty much. Let's just leave it at that. So, here's the thing. We as women have this power. If you want a deep, romantic, vibrant marriage, and that's who I'm talking to. If you don't want that, cool. You're probably in the wrong spot, but hey, that's you do you. But if that's what you want, and that's what I want a deep, romantic, vibrant marriage. It starts with me. It starts with us girls. Feminine respect unlocks masculine love. Bing! You have so much more power than you think. I want to say that one more time. Look into my eyes if you are watching. Listen to my voice if you are listening. You have so much more power than you think. If you want more love, start with respect. If you want more romance, start with trust. If you want to come home to your marriage, release control and believe in the man that you chose. If something in today's episode resonated with you and you're feeling a call to go deeper, I'd love to stay connected. I'm beginning to offer whole woman mentorship. This is a one-on-one intuitive support for women who are ready to realign with themselves, their marriages, and their motherhood. I'm also experimenting with a monthly Whole Woman Circle. It's a live, online, guided women's experience rooted in responsibility, presence, and coming home to yourself. You can learn more, join the community, and explore what's unfolding at wholewomanawakening.com. Until next time, may you feel supported coming home to yourself.